today we'll be looking at a couple of order of operation example problems. So I'm going to work out a couple, then I'm going to have you pause the video and let you try a couple on this paper as well. So let's check out number one first. Now remember, when you're looking for order of operations, you're looking for parentheses first, from left to right, and then once you're done looking for parentheses, you look for exponents from left to right. Then look for multiplication or division, and that's all in one step, from left to right, and then also addition or subtraction from left to right. So starting off with number one over here. Now, this right here is the absolute value of negative 14. So let's go ahead and simplify that down and say that's going to be positive 14. Remember, anytime something's inside the absolute value bars, it's positive inside of it. In other words, if it's negative, it becomes positive. If it's positive, it already stays positive. Now from here, we can go ahead and start looking for our order of operation pieces. So you see there's no parentheses in here. There's no exponents. Now we look for multiplication or division from left to right. You see we have division right here. So 15 divided by 5 will be first. That'll be 3. Now bring down everything else we haven't used yet. And I'm going to go ahead and just write this as just a regular 14 now. We don't need those absolute value bars since we've already decided that's going to be positive 14. Now from here we go back in. Our next step, let's see, we're looking for division and multiplication. We've already decided that we've got all that done. So now we're left with addition and subtraction for the remainder of this problem. So we'll work it from left to right. So we'll do 10 plus 3 next. That gives me 13. Bring down what we haven't used. Continuing on addition and subtraction from left to right. So here we do 13 minus 6. Bring down what we haven't used. So plus 14 goes next to the 7. And we finish this off by adding 14 and 7 to get 21 for our answer. I'm going to slip over here and look at number 6 next. So for number 6, you see you've got some parentheses we'll look at first. Now we have two operations inside of the parentheses. We have exponents, we have subtractions. So for right now, let's just focus on this as if it was a separate problem. If you saw 5 squared minus 6, in other words, exponents and subtraction, thinking of the order of operations, you still would do exponents first before subtraction. So I'm going to go back here and do 25 squared first. So I'm going to bring down this 25, I'm sorry, not 25 squared, 5 squared, which is 25. So bring down the 25 here. And now all the stuff we haven't used comes down. We're not done with parentheses yet, so we've got to keep this in parentheses. Minus 6. So first step, 5 squared was 25. Now we finish off parentheses here, so now we'll do subtraction. 25 minus 6 is 19. So now we're done with parentheses because we simplified that down as much as it can be simplified. So bring down everything else that we have not used yet. There's no more parentheses, there's no exponents, so now we look for multiplication or division. We've got some division right here. So 12 divided by 4 gives me 3. Bring down that plus 19, and then finish this problem off to get 22 for your answer there. Let's go ahead and jump down to number 7. And I want to look at number 7 because it has brackets. Brackets are just like parentheses. So when we talk about, looking for parentheses first, brackets are also included with that. So when you see brackets, don't freak out. Sometimes I have people look at them and they, oh no, dude, it's the same thing you do with parentheses. Okay, so it's no different than having parentheses up here with number 6. So if it helps you, you can even go back in and draw parentheses around here instead of brackets. So just like we did for this problem up here, we focused inside the parentheses first because we had a couple of operations. Same thing down here. So don't worry about that 5 that's on the outside of the brackets. Let's just focus on this inside part here as if it was a separate problem. So you've got subtraction, you've got exponents, and you've got addition. So think about our order of operations. We're going to look for parentheses. Obviously, we're inside the brackets, so that's our parentheses. So inside these operations here, or inside the brackets, working with these operations, let's go ahead and work with the exponents first because exponents comes before subtraction and addition. So here, you've got 3 squared, which is 9. So now bring down everything else that we haven't used. I'm going to go ahead and switch these over to parentheses. I think y'all are a little bit more comfortable with that. All right. Now from here, we're going to continue inside the parentheses. So there's no more exponents, there's no multiplication, there's no division. So now we look for addition or subtraction from left to right. So we'll work with this 16 minus 9. That gives me 7. Bring down everything else that we have not used yet. Finish off these parentheses here. So do 7 plus 5 to get 12. And now you can write this with parentheses still in here. You don't have to do that. You may write it as 5 times 12, with the multiplying sign. Either way is fine as long as you remember this is multiplication for our final step here. So when you do 5 times 12, you get 60 for your answer. Last one I want to work out on this paper, and then I'm going to let you try a couple on your own, is over here with number 4. And you see with number 4, we've got some operations in our numerator, some operations in our denominator, and then a fraction bar that represents division. So when you see a situation like this, worry about the numerator first, get that simplified down to one number. Then worry about the denominator second, get that simplified down to one number. And at the end, you can do your division piece. So here, just worry about this top piece. You've got exponents, I'm sorry, not exponents, you have parentheses here. So do the parentheses first. So 10 plus 2, so I'm going to go ahead and bring over this 4. So I have 4 times 12 now on top. And then when you do 4 times 12, you get 48. So I've got the top totally simplified. In other words, my numerator totally simplified down. On the bottom here, same thing. Work with these parentheses first. 24 divided by 3 is 8. So now we have 2 times 8. And that's going to give me 16. And now from here, finish this off. You have 48 divided by 16, which is just 3. So starting off looking like somewhat of a rough problem, but ended up being not too bad. Got a nice, clean whole number answer for that piece. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and have this paper up here and let you try some of these on your own. Most of these order operations, you got a couple word problems down here that are just kind of a refresher word problems working with basic numbers. So I'll have you try those as well. So let's see, I'm going to go ahead and pull this down and then have you pause the video here so you can get all these up to number 9 over here, and then I'll show you the bottom in 1 second. So pause the video this time and try numbers 2, 3, 8, and 9. Alright, and now I'm going to slip it up and let you try problems 5, 10, 11, and 12. So pause the video this time and try those 4 problems on the bottom here. So let's see how you did. I'll put up the answer key. So go ahead and pause the answer key. Let's see, I'm going to sneak it up here a little bit. So, all right, so now go ahead and pause it and look over anything that you are able to try. All right. I'm going to scoot it up a little bit so you can see 5, 10, 11, and 12. So go ahead and pause the video again and check over those 4 problems. Okay. So we've looked at some order of operations stuff, but there were no negatives involved for the most part with that paper. There was, I think, a negative inside the absolute value bars for number 1, but we made it a positive, and it was all positives for the rest of that paper. On this paper here, we're going to run into a lot more negatives. So same order of operations, so parentheses and exponents and multiplying and dividing together as a step, looking from left to right, adding, subtracting as one step, looking from left to right. So we'll do a couple problems up here and let you try some on this paper as well. So this one's a little bit more advanced here. So let's check out number 1. So you see in number 1, now first of all, there's a little line that went through here when I copied it. So if you can't see number 3, that says 7 minus negative 3 plus negative 2 minus 4. I think you can see this one. Okay, number 4, I'll read it anyway. 12 plus negative 7 minus negative 28. All right, let's come back up here with number 1. And it says 14 minus negative 7 plus 2. So we look for parentheses. Now you see some parentheses in here, but it's really just to designate these as negative numbers. So there's no operations we have to do in the parentheses. So therefore we can go ahead and move on to exponents. There's no exponents here either. There's no multiplication or division. So now we're looking for adding and subtracting in our final step. So from left to right we'll work this problem. So over here for the first piece, we're going to do 14 minus negative 7. Don't forget, when you have 14 minus negative 7, anytime you're subtracting integers, you can use copy, change, switch. So copy the first piece, change subtraction to addition, and switch the sign to the second number. A lot of you know this is keep, change, flip as well. So that's fine if you want to use that. Same exact process. So here this becomes 21. I'm going to bring down that plus negative 2 because we have not used that yet. Now when we finish off this problem, when you have 21 plus negative 2, remember at this point you can use counters, you can use a number line method. I'm going to use the absolute value method. So basically we'll subtract these two numbers as if they're positive, so 21 and 2. If you subtract that, you get 19. And then take the sign of the great absolute value. So if both of these are positive, you have 21 and 2. 21 is bigger than 2. So since 21 is positive, your answer stays positive. So 19 is what we get for number 1. I'm going to jump all the way down here to number 7 and take a look at that one, because it's got some negatives in there, but it's also got a little bit more operations. So first things first, look for parentheses. Now remember, this parentheses over here is just going to be representing that negative 4, so those parentheses aren't necessary to solve this problem. But this will be the parentheses we focus on first here, because of the fact that we have a couple of operations inside of them. So think about this being a separate problem over here. When you see this, you've got 3 squared minus 6, so it's exponents and subtraction. So you know the exponents first. So we're going to come in here and underline that 3 squared. 3 squared is 9. And remember, 3 squared is just 3 times 3. It's not 3 times 2 here. I see that mistake a lot every year. So that just means write a 3 down twice and then multiply. That's where we're getting the 9 from. Okay, bring down everything else that we haven't used yet. This is still in parentheses. 20 plus negative 4, and then a little times mark. Alright, let's finish off these parentheses here. So 9 minus 6 is 3. So we're done with those parentheses. So we don't have to necessarily put those back on there, so I'm going to leave those off. Bring down that 20 plus negative 4, and then the times. So we're done looking for parentheses. There's no exponents here, so now we look for multiplication or division from left to right. So you see we've got some multiplying right here. So now we will go ahead and do that negative 4 times 3 and get 20 plus negative 12. And so you see we've got our last two pieces here. So to finish this off, we'll do 20 plus negative 12. Similar to what we just had, where we had a positive and a negative with an addition sign. It comes back into play here. A positive and a negative with an addition sign. So remember our strategies. You can use your number line method. You can use your counters. I'm going to use the absolute value method again. So make them both positive and subtract. So 20 minus 12 would give me 8. And then based on these two numbers, 20 is bigger than 12. Since 20 was positive, we keep the 8 positive down here. And that is our final answer for number 7. I'm going to look at one more of these and let you try some on your own. So here, you've got 5 plus the absolute value of negative 3 plus 3 minus a negative 6. So similar to the one we saw in the other paper with the absolute value, let's go ahead and make this a positive 3 in here. Because remember, if it's inside the absolute value bars, you turn it to positive. Alright, from here we'll start the process. So look on this paper, or on this problem I should say. We have all adding and subtracting. So no parentheses. Remember, that's just representing a negative 6. There's no exponents. There's no multiplying or dividing. So we have this addition sign, we have this addition sign, and we have this subtraction sign. So basically we'll be working from left to right in this problem. So this problem looked kind of rough in the beginning, but watch how easy it becomes once we start the process. Here we have 5 plus 3. Y'all know that's 8. So bring down everything else we haven't used. Alright, once again we have addition and subtraction left, so working from left to right. 8 plus 3 is 11. Once again, easy, so easy. And then from here we have 11 minus negative 6. We talked about this with subtracting integers. You're going to copy, change, switch it, or keep, change, flip. So copy 11 down, change subtraction to addition, switch negative 6 to positive 6. And when you add that up, you get 17 for your final answer. So it looked a little rough to begin with. Once you worked it out, there's a whole lot of basic addition, which you are okay with, I'm sure, at this point in your math career. All right, so I've done a couple on this paper here, so I'm going to have you pause it. Let me get it back into focus here. Okay, so if you'll pause it and try 1 through 8, obviously we've already done number 1 and number 7, but you'll try 1 through 8, and then I'll lift it up and let you look at number 10 since we've already done number 9. So pause it right now and try 1 through 8. Alright, I moved it up a little bit, and so we've done 9, so you try 10 as well. So take a second to pause the video and try number 10. Alright, let's see how you did. So I'm going to pop this up. Here's your answer key. Scoot it up just a little bit. So you have all the steps in it. So here you see 1 through 8, so take some time now and pause it and check over what you had a chance to work on. And then I'm going to bring it up a little bit more and let you look at number 10 and see how you did on that. All right, this concludes our order of operations example problems. If you enjoyed it, good luck.